A great demon lord falls from his world of great magic into a new world filled with humans and where he cannot practice magic. Do you think he will survive in this new world? The movie begins with a man talking about the demon lord. Once upon a time, there lived a great demon lord named Satan Jacob who had a lot of powers. He has 4 generals with him, and one of the names is Alciel. He is the most loyal of his generals. They wish to claim the whole world for themselves, so they wage war against the north, south, east, and west, but a hero comes to save them and frees the whole world from the wrath of the demon lord. Thereby forcing the demon lord out of their world, he promises them that he will be back, and when he comes back, he will come back with extraordinary powers to claim the whole world to himself. Alciel follows his lord to the other world. On getting there, they are shocked when they see they have hands and their bodies are in the normal human form. They try to adapt to the human lifestyle to live well. They take up human names. Satan starts bearing Sadao Mao and Alciel starts bearing Shiro Ashia. They rent an apartment and begin living like humans. They then give each other an assignment. Sadao is to provide money for their expenses. Ashia is to discover how they would recover their powers. One day it is raining heavily and Sadao sees a young lady beaten by the rain, so he gives her his umbrella to cover herself. At the same time, he runs with his bicycle to his workplace. As of then, he is working at a restaurant and happily performing his duty. At night, on his way home, he meets the lady he gave an umbrella to. She says she came to see him, so then screamed saying, "Why will Sadao be working in a small restaurant?" Then he quickly remembered who she is. She is Lady Amelia. She was one of the great generals in his other world. She is now under the identity of Emi Yusa. Emi brings out her knife ready to fight with Sadao of the Darkness, telling him that she will kill him, but they are arrested by the police, who ask them why they are fighting. The police think they are lovers and are having a couple of fights. Hearing this from the police, Emi gets angry and stands up. She screams at the policemen that she will never have a love affair with Sadao of Darkness, and then the police release both of them. That same day, Emi goes to their house at night to question Sadao and ask what he is planning to do. Seeing that it is Emi at the door, Sadao is scared and he begins to scream, but they later open the door for her. They ask her how she got to the world when she tells them about how she and a general whose name is Orba had passed through the gate, but Orba was slow, so he was not able to pass through the gate. The gate had locked before he got there. Emi does not stop visiting. She checks their house every day, watching them to see if they want to do something evil. She watches him for many days. Then one day at night, when he is riding his bicycle home, she stops him and tells him she has been watching him and she sees that he has not been trying to do something evil, but she doesn't trust him completely. She will keep watching him. However, while they are walking, some people are shooting at them. This makes Sadao jump out of his bicycle and he falls on Lady Emi. As they notice that a person keeps shooting at them, they run away from the place. That night, Emi keeps following Sadao as he goes home. She then begs to sleep over at his place because she misplaced her wallet while they were running. The following day, while Emi is at her place of work, she works as a customer representative, she gets a call from a man from another world like them. He tells her that he has come to kill her and the demon lord, and he will kill them together. Emi answers him calmly, saying that she will make sure he isn't successful with it. On the other hand, Sadao goes on a date with his co-worker, Chiho Sasaki. While they are discussing in a restaurant for their date, Emi comes to the restaurant and she sees Sadao with the young lady. She is angry and goes to meet them, disturbing their outing. She tells the young lady that Sadao is Satan and she should run away from him. As they talk, the building starts collapsing. The building gets attacked by those people who attempted to kill her and Sadao before. The humans around begin screaming and are scared, but this gives Sadao his power back. Screaming and fear of people are the sources of his power. He becomes a huge man and goes back to his previous form. He then uses his powers to change the building back to its previous state, saving many people's lives. As Emi leaves the building, she wonders why Sadao is saving people and remembers what happened to her father. They were living a joyful life before her father was called to save the land from the demon lord, but he didn't return from his journey. Her whole city was burnt and she had to be the one to control the state. Then Sadao comes in front of her as she is thinking, which makes her shift away from him and tells him that he doesn't need to worry about her. When Ashiya sees Sadao, he kneels on his knees and begins to cry. He tells Sadao he is sorry for not being there for him and apologizes for running away when he saw the building crashing. But Sadao doesn't take it as an offense, so Ashiya jumps on him happily. The next day, Emi comes to Sadao's house to thank him for saving her and the people in the building the other day. One day, while Chiho is passing, she comes across a man with purple hair. He is Lucifer, one of the Demon Lord's generals. But this time, he didn't come to work for his master, but to kill him and Lady Lucifer. Again, Lucifer began destroying the whole building. As Lucifer sees Sadao, Emi, and Ashiya, he tells them his plan to destroy the three of them and his partner. Shockingly, his partner is Orba, Emi's most trusted person. This makes her very sad, seeing as she assumes Orba is selfish. Lucifer injures Ashiya badly and he falls unconscious. The other three men run away for their lives, but Lucifer meets them at the front again and he shows them their friend Chiho that he has captured and then throws her from a very high height. He also injures Sadao. With his powers, he begins destroying all the buildings and the people get scared and start screaming. This again gives Sadao his power. He returns to his true self with his powers and saves the people by holding the buildings that are about to fall. Emi recovers her power as well and fights bravely with Ariel, who recovers his powers back as well. Sadao fights with Lucifer and wins. He makes Lucifer lose his powers completely. Then Sadao uses most of his extraordinary powers to make all the buildings go back to the way they were before. For the second time, he risks his life and saves the people once again. In Sadao's world, some people discuss Sadao and the people with him. They feel sad and angry that Emi isn't attacking, but she's now a friend to him. Then, they decide to send the young lady to the next world to kill the Demon Lord. Lucifer loses all of his powers and there is no place for him to live. Trust Sadao with his enormous heart. He forgives Lucifer and takes him to live with them. The next day, Sadao comes back from work. He notices there is somebody in the next room. He now has a neighbor. Then, the young lady comes down. She walks down the stairs but falls. She falls into the Demon Lord's hands. The new neighbor, Suzuno, is the lady sent from the other world to kill Lucifer. The next day, Suzuno knocks on their door. She is there to thank Sadao for saving her the other day from falling, and she then tells them that her name is Suzuno. Emi comes visiting but is spying on them. When Suzuno opens the door, she falls down the stairs, but Sadao saves her from falling on the floor and then takes her inside. Suzuno acts friendly to them, like she is an innocent neighbor who cares for them and cooks for them because Ashiya is ill. One day, while at his place of work, Chiho comes to visit him, and he tells her Suzuno is very kind and she has been giving him food. This gets Chiho very jealous. She starts pulling him by his shirt and shouting at him. Early in the morning, Chiho goes to Sadao with Emi, bringing some food with her. The door is opened by Suzuno, who gets Chiho crying and Emi screaming. Suzuno is now very close to Sadao. As Sadao walks Chiho home that night, she confesses to him that she likes him and she is already falling in love with him despite knowing that he is a demon. Later that day, Suzuno meets Emi in a big shop and they are both talking. Then Emi finds out that Suzuno is from their world and they start arguing. Emi says she doesn't know that Suzuno has come from their world in the defense. Suzuno replies that she assumes Emi is aware. Suzuno tells Emi of her plans to kill Sadao to save Emi's dignity because the elderly and church in their world are concerned. But Emi tells her that she doesn't care anymore. One day, Sadao starts at a new restaurant he has recently been transferred to. He is to work in a restaurant close to a beach. Chiho has invited Emi and Suzuno out to a place close to the beach, and they visit too. However, as they play at the beach, some giant crocodiles come outside and people begin screaming. As expected, Sadao goes to the place and freezes the people except for his friends, then casts a spell on the crocodile. He repeated the spell 3 times, and the crocodile all obeyed him. Once again, he saved the people. In a house, some men can be seen discussing killing Sadao. But while they are discussing, Suzuno entered the house and controls the men with powers, and they kill themselves. The survivor didn't kill himself, so Suzuno comes over and uses a massive object to hit his head, and then blood spilled everywhere. She then goes to meet her master, who gives her a piece of cloth to clean the blood on her face and gives her a list of jobs she's to do. Another time, she goes to meet her master again, and he gives her the last job she's to do. She is to kill Sadao. She makes up her mind to kill him. She then goes to meet Emi and Chiho when they are walking together in the night. She tells them of her plans to kill the demon lord, but Chiho pleads with her not to do so. Chiho asks her if she was close to Sadao when he was the demon lord. She then says that all the bad things that happened then might not be the demon lord's fault but his generals. But Suzuno doesn't answer her. She has made up her mind to kill the demon lord. Suzuno's master can be seen. He captures Emi and Chiho and uses his power to tie Emi. He begins hurting Emi, burning her with his powers. Suzuno then goes to where Sadao is and destroys his bicycle. He still complains about his bicycle when she tells him where Emi and Chiho were. They fight. During the fight, Sadao asks her how she could do that to her friends. Later, Sadao goes to save his friends. Chiho and Emi are very happy to see him. Repentant Suzuno also comes to save her friends. She tells her master that she is evil and she will save her friends from him. The master then makes the color of the whole world change and everybody becomes scared. But once again, due to the people's fear, Sadao gains power and he gets his powers back. He becomes his true self back and fights against the blue-haired man, and he wins. The next day at the office, Sadao's manager questioned him that she heard he took a mop and went out like a crazy man yesterday. He doesn't come back to the office. He tries defending himself, but Chiho speaks. She tells the manager how Sadao saved a lot of people the other day. Suzuno also visits the restaurant. She also tells the manager how great of a man he is. One day, some men are carrying some boxes to Sadao's house, and Emi wonders what they are. She feels Sadao is up to something. At the office, Sadao asks his manager for some time off work, and Chiho gets angry at him. She feels that Ashiya and Sadao want to return to the other world. Inquisitively, Emi and Chiho secretly watch the Demon Lord's house. They want to know what he is up to. But he catches them and tells them to come outside where they show their faces. He informs them about his reason for taking the day off. He says Ashiya wants to make money for the expenses at home, so Ashiya has gotten a job with an agency. To help Ashiya, he took a day off work to assist him. But Ashiya was posted to another place. They are not placed to work together. Then Emi asks him who has ordered all the boxes that she saw the man put in their house. This gets Sadao alarmed, and they all go to the house. On checking, Lucifer sees all the boxes and figures containing a bed, a fire extinguisher, and other things. He calls the office where Lucifer has gotten them from, but the man gives an excuse to they won't be able to return anything. All of their savings are gone. He and Emi then go to the office and see that Ashiya is the one at the office. He then tells Ashiya what had happened, and they speak to the main boss of the company, but the man doesn't want to collect the goods back. He has scammed Lucifer. Emi thinks of a way to save them. She asks Sadao how old Lucifer is in their new world and tells them that since he isn't up to 18, all of the things he bought are supposed to be signed by his guardian, and since Sadao hasn't signed any of them, they have the right to return the goods and collect their money back. They report this to a lawyer, and the man comes to pack all of his goods back and return their money. The man leaves their house angrily. Ending the movie, Sadao and Ashiya think about how they started with Emi, and they are shocked as to how she is now their friend. The end.